Hello, everybody. I'd like to thank you for coming back for another daily devotional. I'd like to share with you, you saw probably as this was coming on, a sign predicting the return of Christ. Of course, that date has then since come and gone, and we know that Jesus Christ did not return that day. Many people have tried to do that and put a date on God. Well, I've got some scriptures for you. In fact, I'm going to put more of them in the comments below. Matthew chapter 24, verses 36 through 44. But let's just focus on 44. He says, "Therefore be also ready, for in such an hour as you think not, the Son of Man cometh." Actually, in that passages of scriptures there, 3 times, Jesus tells us that we don't know the day in the first time, and then he tells us twice we don't even know the hour. It's impossible to pinpoint exactly when Jesus Christ is coming. However, there have been other people who have tried to put a prediction on that date. It's impossible to put a prediction on that date because Jesus Christ himself told us in verse 36 that he didn't know and the angels in heaven didn't know. Only the Father knows. Only the Father knows the date of his soon return. And so, my friends, we have to be very careful when people are pinpointing dates. I'm doing this devotional today because I'd had a couple of people ask me if Jesus was going to return on June 30th when the star was in the sky. And I told them absolutely not, that's not what that meant. It would be too easy because God told us we would know the hour of the day. He says he's coming in an hour that we don't even think about. And right now, in our society, we're seeing God ripped out of everything. Everybody's trying to remove God. We're removing the 10 Commandments. We're removing his moral laws. Everywhere is starting to pull God out of everything. We're pulling the history out of everything. It's going to be kind of like Germany. The Holocaust never happened. I don't know. Excuse me. Gotta go now. The world that we're living in is in that much turmoil. It's in that much mix-up that we're trying to block God out of history. We've tried to block God out of the American history. And no matter how hard we try to put it back, the culture is at war with the Christian. Notice I say the culture is at war with the Christian. The Christian church is what's at war here. No one's trying to deny any history of the Muslims. No one's trying to pull that stuff away. In fact, we're trying to hand the Muslim church over all the faith that we can handle. Oh, here, hey, let's be kind to them. Let's be gentle to them. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's hand them all this. You got to stop talking about this. You got to do that. Nobody says anything about the Christians. Don't offend the Muslims. Oh, them Christians, offend them all you want. It's okay. Nobody cares about the Christian anymore. Let's just sweep them under the rug. No one's ever cared about the Jews. Let's just sweep them under the rug too. Let's annihilate them. And that's the attitude of our culture today. I don't mean that that's by and large the attitude of of all Americans. It's our culture is pushing that way. There is a minority of our culture that is pushing to get rid of God, to get rid of the Jews, to get rid of any symbolism of holiness, to get rid of morals. All of that is being pushed out by our culture, which is really a small percentage of our population, but they seem to have some kind of a ginormous voice. Why is that? I believe that God has left the floodgates open, and he is going to allow them to do whatever they want because judgment is coming. And I also believe that it's because the silence of the Christians. Because in America, where we have free speech, we haven't exercised that free speech to its fullest extent. No, what you do is you get some Christian extremists who want to run out and exercise free speech, but you don't get anybody who's truly a Christian exercising it, if you know what I mean. People who really love the Lord have kind of tended to kind of pull back and hush, and everybody else, you got like the Westboro Baptist Church out there using their voice in such a weird, strange manner. I'm telling you, friends, it's time for Bible-believing Christians who love Jesus to begin to stand up for their beliefs, to begin to stand up and tell others about Jesus Christ and pray. Pray, pray, pray. There's going to be no win in any kind of a culture war without prayer. My friends, it is time that we pray because we don't know when Jesus is returning. Take a look in the description. There's a couple of links of some other historical events, and there are many predictions of Jesus Christ that just did not come to pass. And for that, that was awkward. Anyway, you all have a terrific day and keep your eyes on the skies because Jesus is coming really soon.